episode number 140.
I got X-ray specs for eyes, I can see right through you.
Welcome to the Heads Up Poker Podcast. This is Steve Barton.
This is Mike Snyderman.
And this week you've got Batman and Robin. And coming up next week, we're going to have the Joker, Clayton Fletcher. And soon after that, now that I put myself on the spot, I'm trying to think of a clever name for Joe LaPinta. The Penguin would be an insult. Iron Man?
I'm sorry, you got me on the spot here, Steve. We're getting
Aquaman. But how the hell you been? How's your last week been?
pretty good. I was in a little downswing with cash, but I've had 2 straight winning sessions.
Nice. Good.
So, poker life is rough, Steve. What can I tell you? Be thankful it's just a hobby for you. That's all I can say.
Yeah. I've got the biggest gamble of my life going right now. The real estate agent just left the house. They took all the pictures. It's going to go on the market tomorrow. And hopefully it'll sell quick. I'm looking forward to having this done. This is like the final step in the finalization of the divorce is once this house sells, then I'll be able to get out of debt and start fresh.
Let me see. Don't tell me how much. Let me see. If I can guess within $500, you have to give me the house. How's that sound?
I don't know.
How many square feet is the house?
1637.
Okay. Was it 3 bedrooms or 2 bedrooms and an office, I guess?
4 bedrooms. There's an addition that we can count as a bedroom because it's got a closet. So I guess that's one of the stipulations of a bedroom is it has to have a closet. So
obviously you said good lawn. I'm sure the house is in great shape.
Yeah.
I would have to know, do you live in Oxnard or?
I do.
Is this a beachfront town?
It's a beach town, sort of. I mean, it's got a lot of coastline, but this is not on the beach. This is in the suburbs.
Suburbs. What's the closest city?
Camarillo and Ventura.
I'm trying to equate it to a San Diego town and what would be. Sounds like a nice house, man. I mean, it's amazing how expensive California real estate is.
True.
I'm going to say it is going on the market at $515,000.
That would be awesome, but no, it is not.
Oh.
No.
How much?
Less than that, less than 5.
Okay.
What I owe on the place and what I owe my ex, if I squeak by without a bill, I would be doing backflips. That would be awesome. So we'll see. We won't know until it goes. She was even saying like maybe we go a little bit lowball, and we.
What if someone overbids for $515? Then do you have to give me the house? No, I guess that wouldn't work. I had to guess.
I tell you what,
the list price.
I'll pay for 50% of your WSOP main event next year if it, by some act of God, goes for over that.
Okay. Well, then I guess you don't have much to worry about.
I'll even give you 10% markup. How's that?
Nice.
If that happened, you could not stop me from doing cartwheels. You could not. But I'm hoping to just be free and clear, and then I'm going to have to pay Uncle Sam some taxes and all that. I'm hoping to just break even.
Hopefully, like everything else in life, there's some luck involved. I think I told you my parents had a house in Connecticut, which they put it out, and it sold the very first day at their asking price.
Wow, that would be cool. That would be cool.
So yeah,
you
never know.
I've been pretty lucky throughout my life. Maybe this is in addition to that. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Hopefully.
What do you think? What do you think, Steve? I'm curious about your not to like weigh this down with any long political discussion. What did you think about the NFL this weekend and their protests?
I just found out about that, ironically, this morning. You know how up to date I am on the news.
Jesus.
I came in. My football experience basically has been fantasy football, and that's just listening to podcasts and strategy and what guy's going to give me the most points. And I don't know why I devote this time to it, because I can calculate that I make $22 an hour playing MTTs. And I think in fantasy football, it cannot be more than 50 cents an hour for all the time I put into researching that. So I obviously don't do it for the fucking money, but I think I just want to win. You know what I mean? Like last year I came in second, the year before I made the playoffs, but didn't. I just want to win this thing. So all my news, at least, is just about player analytics and the mathematics behind it and all that. As far as any of the juicy details about not standing up for the national anthem or anything like that, I'm kind of in the dark. But I guess there was one team, wasn't there, that didn't even come out onto the field until after the national anthem.
Yeah, I think maybe there was a couple teams that did that. I can't remember.
Yeah. If you're using this as a shot to take at Trump, I don't know what the hell he's doing. I don't know why.
Right.
His leadership tactics are just not what I would do at all. You know, I don't get it. I don't know what his game is. I don't know.
Right.
If he just wants attention. I don't know. He's not uniting the country, I don't think. You know?
No, he's not.
How can a guy be so damn successful and a billionaire in business and just, I would think those skills would translate, but they're not.
Well, a lot of, there's some people in the business world who would just say, Trump is really never really a good businessman. He made 99% of his income is just off the Trump name. He became a celebrity by just being a New Yorker who was rich in real estate and getting a lot of, so he sells the Trump brand to all different kinds of stuff. There's Trump cologne and ties and all this stuff, none of which he owns, but everybody has to spend, give him a lot of name for the licensing rights or whatever.
Well, that seems like a pretty damn good businessman to me.
Well,
he doesn't even have to make the perfume.
You can be totally
he just slaps his daughter's name on there, and
right.
They get 2% of all sales or whatever. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I guess I don't know. I mean, I think Kim Kardashian gets a lot of money for wearing whatever spandex she takes a picture in, kind of stuff.
Right.
So yeah, managing your celebrity is a skill, I guess.
I think he's. I would argue that I googled his net worth and then plugged that into the richest people in the world, and he came up in the 300s out of 7 billion people. He's a successful businessman, but those skills are not translating, and he's not, in my mind, what a president should be. You know, that political figurehead, like what Obama had. If Trump could have that, I believe he would be very successful. Obama could walk into any room and everyone just liked him, And now he could not balance a fucking checkbook to save his life, but that one skill, if you could take those two people and just put them together and just take pieces, I think he'd be perfect. But he doesn't have that. I thought he would, but I was wrong. He's got to be able to get along with people in politics so he can get his shit through, and he just can't even do that.
Sounds about right, Stevie. Have you played cards the last couple of weeks since I've talked to you? No, probably. Or did you do the Sunday grind this last week?
No, I wish I could have. I couldn't. I've just had too much stuff going on with the house. Just getting it all ready and picture perfect and painting and everything. I'm hoping to get in a little session today, and I'm actually kind of giddy about it because I was afraid when the real estate agent came that she'd be like, okay, you need to do this, and she's like, and I kept asking her, I'm like, should I bizzle the carpet? Should I do this? She's all, no, stop. Everything's done. Don't touch anything. It's ready to go. I'm like, so I'm done? She's all, yeah, you just now need to wait for it to sell. And I kind of feel like, oh, God, this huge weight's lifted off my chest. There's nothing more to do. I'm like, nice. I can start playing cards again. I might go down to the card room today, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But
there's another series on ACR. I don't know if you're paying attention there.
Yes, that's this Sunday, right?
It started on Sunday, but they got it yesterday. They had a 60K, a 40K, a 30K, a 25K, and two 20Ks. Nice. And that probably continues today. Yeah, they got a 30K. I'm looking at it right now. I'm just curious. Okay. I can't grind today because I'm getting my son Is this right? They got a 200K today?
What's
What?
that buy-in? 215 or?
A 200K that's a 25-cent buy-in. That's got to be wrong. That's got to be
a
wrong.
satellite.
Let me look at this thing. It's got to be a misprint.
For a quarter? Yeah, maybe I'll do that. I got I think 2K on there now. I can
It's a $200 guarantee.
Oh, okay. There's no
that
K
would make
behind
more
it.
sense. Well, it's an MOSS event, one of their events, and those are never really the little small buy-ins.
Yeah.
They do have a 40K, starts today at 3 o'clock, and then a 15K at 3:30, and a 40K at 3:30. Just throwing this out here.
Yeah.
I'm not getting any money to promote these people, and a 50K that starts at 4. I guess I was going to lead this into discussion, Steve, when you talked about your $20 an hour. You really don't care if you ever have the big score. I mean, I'm sure you'd like to.
I'd like it. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Right.
But,
I mean,
I just
up
want
the
to
bank.
play cards, and I want to make the best decisions I can, and I know the wins will come.
Jesus Christ. Grow a set, would you? Take out the credit card and play the big turn. Plus, they got a couple $1 million tournaments coming up here.
Ooh.
Let's see. They have 3 of them in October.
Wow.
They got 2 on the same day. Well, $2,000 buy-in and a $500 buy-in. That's interesting. And the week before my birthday, this is just meant to happen, Steve. $1 million Sunday, $250 buy-in.
That one I might do. The 500 and 2K. That'd be risking too much of my
take a shot at the
bankroll
250
for that, especially after
Anyways,
the divorce.
they got a good schedule coming up. And I actually, for the first time, picked up a couple hands because I had a good shot at a big score this weekend.
Oh, you have some hands.
Yeah, I actually got a couple of hands this weekend.
Nice.
I cashed. When I was in the money, I had a lot of chips in the 3 kind of biggest tournaments of the day, in the 250K on ACR, and the 100K on ACR, and the Ignition Major, too, the 100K.
Oh, nice.
And the one of them, I had lots of chips.
That's so much fun.
The 100K, at one point, with under 100 players left, or like 80 players left, I had, I want to say, like 750K, and second place might have had just under 500K.
Wow.
So I had a lot of chips. There's a one, maybe
that's
that was
so
more like,
much fun when you're just deep in a tournament like that, and you look down and you're 1 of 97. You're like, oh God.
yeah. I was in first place, and then top 5 basically for like 3 hours. I think it was just.
It's insane when you're just running so good like that and just making great decisions and great folds.
Well, I don't know. I might have just been getting lucky, but I got a couple hands from that tournament.
Right on. Well, let me first tell you guys about Tournament Poker Edge. Join Mike and I at TPE. One of our new instructors is Colin Moshman. He has a series up reviewing a Hyper 6 Max. He's a turbo expert. This second series he's put up, I just watched the first video last night, and the second one came out, and I can't wait to watch that one. They release a new training video Monday through Friday. Each one's about half an hour to 45 minutes long. They've got over 1,700 videos now and counting. I don't think you could ever watch them all. Maybe Carlos could. So if you play tournaments and are all serious about your game, you have to join TPE. Check out the free videos first. There's dozens of them. You can find a link in the show notes. You can post in the forums, watch the free training videos, or if you like a more structured approach, you can go through the TPE University. That sets it up so it starts from the basics and it gets more advanced towards the end of the course. When you join, use the code HUP month, HUP quarter, or HUP year. Get the discount, save yourself some cash, and start learning today. Tournament Poker Edge. Okay, what do you got, Mikey? I got my pen and paper ready.
Oh, dear.
I'm excited.
Okay, the 100K.
Okay.
I start the hand with in the cutoff with 638,000 in chips.
638K. Okay.
At 5,000, 10,000.
Okay, 63 big blinds. Uh-huh.
And it folds to me. It's only 7-handed, so there's a couple less antes in there. Probably getting ready for a table to break or whatever. Someone got knocked out the previous hand. And I have pocket jacks.
Beautiful hand, hooks. Okay. Okay, folds to you. What are the guys to your left like?
The guy
Okay.
on the button quickly is the only one at the table who has me covered in chips. He's got 710,000 chips.
Okay.
And both the small blind has 23 bigs, and the big blind has 15 bigs.
Okay, so big blind has 150K, small blind has 230K, and what did you say the button has?
710K. And there's a few people with under three other people. There's a couple people with like 60K. So we're well above chip average. We're probably both. I wouldn't be surprised if we're both top 5 in chips right now.
Okay, and how many people are left? Like 100?
Yeah, I don't remember. No, under 100 for sure. Probably like 70 or something, or 60 something.
You in the money yet?
Maybe less. Yeah, well in the money.
Okay.
So I open to just under 30,000. 29. I've been opening big the whole time. This is per the Assassinato discussion a little bit. You get 3 bet less.
Yeah.
So I open to, let's see, 29,889.
Okay, so basically 30K, 3K, or 3 big blinds. All right. Oh, and what's the buy into this?
$100.
Okay, like a 109.
The button calls,
Okay.
and the other 2 players fold.
Fold. Okay. All right. So you got jacks, the button. Do you remember anything about the button? What?
I wish I did. I don't even remember names of people I've played 2,000 hands with. It's just always looking at the HUD.
Okay. All right. What's the pot at this point?
81,778 after I c-bet. Oh no, after it was 81,778 pre, and I c-bet 31,229. And
Okay, well let's get to the flop first.
well, we didn't get to the flop. Yeah, the flop is Ace 10-9 rainbow.
Ace 10-9 rainbow. Okay, not bad. All right.
Are you
Your first
c-betting?
act.
Are you c-betting here?
You know, I had a hand like this come up the other day, and generally speaking, I think, there's arguments for both sides. You can check and let him c-bet, and then you just call because you can never check fold there. I kind of like leading out, and this might be a rule, and Alex would probably say to get this rule out of my head, but generally speaking, if I'm heads up in a pot with jacks, and or queens, or pick your pair, and one overcard comes out, I'm almost always firing a c-bet, and if 2 come out, then I kind of make a decision at that point, depending on how loose the guy is or how tight he is, and like that. But I think I'd put in a bet here. There's we got a backdoor straight draw, we got an overpair to 2 on the board. Into 81 or almost 82K, I'd probably put out something like 37, something like that.
I made it smaller, 31K.
Okay. Because now you would bet an ace there too, right?
Yeah.
Okay, me too. Yeah. I think because if you're not going to bet an ace there, then I think we need to.
So what kind of is this a value bet though? We can also get called by worse, of course. We know that.
Yeah. Well, we blocked Jack 10 pretty hard, but Queen 10, King 10, maybe. I mean, he was in the blind, so maybe he's calling with the, like Jack 8 suited, 8-7 suited, stuff like that. That we're ahead of. Of course, he's calling with his aces as well. But I think we can get called by worse here.
Okay.
And what'd you say you bet? 30 what?
31,000.
31, and he calls?
Villain calls.
Okay. All right, we go to the turn. What's the pot?
Well, first of all, how are we ranging him here?
I would say all aces. I think he's just probably folding 8s and below there, right?
I would think so.
Yeah. He's calling there with any ace, kings, queens, which are probably 3-betting you pre-flop, so you can, I would think, mainly take those out of there. probably all Broadway gut shots. So King Queen, you block with Jack Jack pretty hard, but the Queen Jack, the King Jack,
7-8 suited. If for some
7-8
reason he has
suited,
that.
yeah.
I think his range is weighed heavily towards ace X though here. No.
I think so too. Now that I'm verbalizing this, I'm like, there's a lot of ace X in his range now. You know, a lot more than the random Jack 9 suited, 8-7 suited. I think he's folding Jack 8 off right there, right? I mean, pre-flop.
Yeah, maybe suited. I mean, we're deep, so he's got some room to float and raise and do some stuff. Although now that I think about it, I think the reason I'm bringing up this hand is the villain had either passive stats or I probably had seen him fold for a orbit and a half or something. You know, I had him pegged as being very nitty.
Okay.
Which I guess means then you really have to weigh him towards aces here.
Yeah. Then there's a lot more aces than. Okay.
The turn is the 3 of hearts. So ace 10, 9, 3, 2 hearts.
Okay, heart. And what's the total pot on the turn?
It's now 144,236.
144. Okay. Yeah, after putting all those aces in his range, I'm probably checking here.
I think check giving up, maybe check calling depending on his size. I don't know. Yeah, I think, like I said, he's got a lot of. Here's my rationale for going for it here, is that he doesn't have a big ace, and he doesn't have a set that often, and he should have very few. He could have ace 10 suited, I guess.
You could have ace 10, ace 9.
I'm assuming he's going to 3-bet ace king, ace queen a fair amount pre, but if he's maybe not. A lot of guys are just flatting there. Yeah, I don't know. Basically, for me to bet here, I'm trying to push him off a pretty strong range, I think. And the hands that he would fold are ones that we beat anyways. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Draws. And my rationale was, if I bet, though, let's bet really big to make him think he's going to have to really be put to the test on the river. Like I'm setting up a river shove.
Okay.
And I thought he would fold some aces here. If he's calling with every suited ace, ace 8 suited, ace 5 suited, ace, even like ace jack off, put pressure on his single pairs was my thinking. So I actually overbet the pot.
Okay.
By a little bit.
Talking about
I
this,
bet
I'm plugging in all aces. I mean, this is if he, if he's calling your pre-flop raise with like ace deuce off, ace 3 off, ace 5, all of those, and all suited aces. So if he's calling with any ace in the big blind when you raise the cutoff, then that's 192 combinations. And I don't think he's folding any of those when you bet the flop. Now, if he's not calling with any the offsuit aces, we can start to take a few of those out. But I think for a nitty player to call a single raise with an ace isn't unreasonable.
No, and a lot of guys he's the chip leader, and an ace. He's an ace he's got an ace on the button against a late position raiser. I think. Do you agree that to a big bet, he's going to be folding a lot of those aces, or no?
Nitty players, I have made this move, ironically, with pocket jacks. I think I might have talked about it on the podcast. It was either a couple World Series ago. I was at, what do you call it? Bellagio or the Wynn? No, it wasn't the Wynn. Whatever, it's not important. Anyways, I had jacks. The guy that was across from me, I knew he had a weak ace. I can't remember the details of his hand, but like this, you know how you just get that feeling and you're like, this man has jacks. You can't have anything else other than jack. Well, I just knew he had a weak ace, just the way he played, the sizing. We'd been playing at the same table for hours, and I turned my jacks into a bluff. and I got him to fold, and he showed ace 9 off. And I don't know, he might have gone with the ace 10 off, and kind of, I'm not sure. I might have just hit him right on that edge, but the way I played it, like I was certain he would fold. But there was a lot of live reads. I don't know if I could do that online. I'm probably just
check giving up. I think
I'm check folding on this. Yeah. Now this is Monday morning quarterback too, and I have slice open in front of me, and now I can see how many damn combinations there are of ace X, and we've talked about how ace heavy his range is. And not only that I didn't mention is we're blocking the shit out of a lot of straight draws, like we mentioned the Jack 8 suited and Queen Jack, King Jack, all those gut shot draws and stuff. Like, well, we've got 2 of the jacks right there that, now that takes out a lot of combos.
For some reason I felt if I was going to go for it, I was going to bet big and make him think he was going to have to make a decision for his life on the river.
Okay.
So I thought that would get him to fold a lot of aces. Again, I think we both agree he's got a pretty strong ace-heavy range on the flop, so I think this thinking is bad. But quickly, I bet 155,555, so more than pot.
Mm-hmm.
And he took a long time, and then he called.
Okay. 55K. All right, what's the pot on the river?
So now we have 455,346 in the pot, and I have 420,369 in my stack. So just about a pot size shove is an option here. And the river is a queen of clubs.
Okay.
I mean, are you rolling the dice here? And I can still check fold or check. I mean, I still could have the winning hand occasionally, probably not, unless, like I said, he's got exactly like 7-8. Basically, to win this hand, I need to shove here, and is it worth the risk? I mean, how much? What part of his range that calls 2 streets is folding? At this point, I mean, like he's folding. We're trying to get him to fold ace jack. It's like the only hand I think we can get him to fold at this point.
Ace jack and below. Yeah.
Well, or
if he's calling there, he's got to be folding. I would think
if he managed to call twice with crummy aces, maybe he still calls. I mean, still. Yeah, I don't know. I think this is check, give up. I don't know. What do you think?
I think so. Yeah, I think the turn was a check, and if he has something like one of the weak aces, he's probably checking behind. If he has one of the stronger ones, he might be betting, and then if he has one of the weaker ones, I didn't think about this, but if he bets kind of small that looks like a weak ace, we might be able to put in a check raise there, or just call and then blast the river.
So you have 6 different options, all different than the one I use. None of those, and by the way, none of those really make any goddamn sense other than check fold, which is really the only option.
That's the move. Yeah, I'm trying to come up with second and third best scenarios.
Thank you for your creativity, Stephen. Fucking check call the flop and bet the turn and then bomb the river. That's brilliant. I check the river.
Okay.
And he checks behind, and he has 9-10 suited, so he flopped 2 pair.
Okay. Yeah. Huh.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I guess we got sort of
almost got him to fold 2 pair.
Yeah, well, maybe not. Maybe he was just multi-table.
Well,
you never know.
I'm kind of liking your well, for what hand he ended up having. I mean, I'm kind of liking your bomb on the turn there. I mean, if he tanked with 9-10,
I think I can't
at that
remember.
point that had to be a kind of a slow play, right? But maybe
no,
the queen on the river scared him.
Some sort of he might have just doubled up and won a huge hand. I use this psychology that nobody wants to get all their chips in the next hand right if that happens. So like I said, I think he's folding a lot of ace X's on the turn. Yeah, I don't think it's horrible, but I don't know if some people, if game theory says you need to then shove the river. Uh, but give up, and I still, even after pissing away 230K in chips, I still have above chip average after I lose the hand. So
Okay.
and then I win, I think, like for the next 6 hands, and pretty much the next orbit right around. It's on. I'm back up to 557K, so I've added another 135K to my stack over the next few hands. And the next orbit it gets to me, and I'm on the button.
Okay.
Blinds are 6,000, 12,000. Yeah, I got five. So the blinds went up, and I have 557,280 on the button, and I have Jack again, and we're still 7-handed.
Okay.
Same table, same people.
How many blinds is that? That's 40 some?
Yeah, 46 blinds or something.
46,
I think.
okay.
Yeah, probably around there. So, the guy under the gun, who has 111,196 shoves.
111K. Okay. All in.
So he's shoving whatever that is, 9 big blinds.
Okay.
The guy in the cutoff, who has 486,609, he calls. He just calls the 111K.
Okay.
And then it's up to me, and I have jacks again on the button.
What are the players behind you?
You got the chip leader there, the same villain from last time, who's got 852K, and then you got a short stack in the small blind, the big blind with 78K.
Big blind, 78K, and the guy in the small blind has you covered. That's a good hand. Will he call and then fold?
What's his range?
I'll say pretty good. Probably king queen plus, ace queen plus, and
sixes plus.
I was going to say sevens, but we're on the same page. Yeah. Now, if you shove here, he's folding nines and below, right? You might get a crying call from tens there, but I kind of doubt it, as you got him covered.
A lot of people will convince themselves that I have ace king and call with nines and tens, getting a lot of.
Okay.
Does he flat with queens or kings there? I was twitching this, and this is what I was saying live. I said, well, he's definitely re-raising queens, kings, and ace king because he doesn't want to get drawn out on or give someone a chance to. So I said he's either got aces or a hand he's going to fold, which is oversimplifying, and obviously
Aces were kings, I would say. Unless if he's a rec, then you're probably right. He's but recreational, then you're probably right. He's either got aces or a hand he'll fold. If he's a regular, I would call it with kings there in that spot.
So here, do you like shoving or do you like just flatting and seeing 3 cards?
Well, we got 46 bigs. It's 9 to call. Man, I was honestly entertaining the thought of just letting it go. But
that would be horrible. I think. I don't know, but yeah.
Do you remember what he was playing like?
I don't. Yeah.
Okay. I'd probably flat and see what see what the flop brings. You got one guy that his decision's already made. Hopefully, you go heads up here, if the big blind shoves, it's for less than the amount, so
Right.
it's a moot point. And if the small blind is nitty, we certainly think he is after he's tanking there with 10-9. If he was obviously considering folding there, or maybe he was considering raising, but I don't know. I think that he's pretty nitty because he didn't value bet the river from the last hand.
Well, we're not really worried about him. I mean, if we decide to shove here and this guy wakes up with a queen's plus, I mean, there's about a 2% chance of that happening. But
yeah, then you can just let it go.
No. Oh, if you flat, you're talking about flatting and folding.
If you
I was just talking about,
and then the button ISOs.
I was talking about shoving. I'm concerned about what the flatting range of the other guy is. I'm not really concerned about someone waking up behind me with queen's plus.
Okay. All right.
I mean, if that happens, it happens. But so I kind of like flat. The problem with flatting sometimes, depending on the villain, I would have to get the stats. Sometimes this guy is going to be able to steal the pot with the second best hand. If it's a king high flop and he c-bets pretty big with his nines, we kind of got to fold.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. I don't know a real HUD master what they would look at here precisely to decide whether shove or flat is the best option. But I think just flat's the best choice here.
Yeah.
Like I said, his range has got to be pretty strong, and we're not capping his range here. We think he could have aces and kings there. So to avoid that issue, we can. But it is jacks. I mean, it is the fourth best hand in
you got
poker.
The fourth best hand in the game.
Right. I decide to shove.
Okay.
He calls with ace king.
Yeah.
Flop 6-4-4. Turn 7. River king.
Oh.
And I am crippled down to 6 big blinds.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm out a few minutes later. So in a very short period, I went from like massive chip leader to out, and I forget, like 43rd place for $300 or something.
Oh,
I thought it was going to be a special day.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was it. I don't know. Jacks, misplay people. Those people, the clowns at the 2-5 cash. I hate jacks. I'm like, yeah, right. Give me jacks every hand, and I'll make some money. But here, I hate jacks. A couple weird spots with them, and I don't know if the first one I really don't like how I played them at all, and the second one, I think it's I got it in good and lost a flip, but
yeah, you got to win flips to make final tables.
Yeah, if I won that hand, obviously, yeah, I mean, I just have massive, just massive amounts of chips there. But
yeah, I don't know. The more I think about it, a flat's not bad. I mean, yeah, you're right. The flop could come out king high, and then he c-bets, and then what do you do? But I don't know. There's millions of different flops. Just
right.
Take it and see what happens.
As it is, very results oriented. If he c-bets, I call. He probably gives up on the turn. I mean, I might just check. It might have checked down and I lose on the river anyways.
Who knows? Maybe it came king, jack, 8, and you get his whole stack. Who knows? Who knows? But yeah, I was thinking of without stats on the player, it's just tough to say. I mean, if it was like some of the people that I've studied over the last week or so, I could see folding there. They're just too damn tight, and they wouldn't do that unless they were nutted. But others, that's a great ISO.
Yeah, maybe if it was an under gun shove and an under the gun 1 call, and you were under the gun 2, and you had 5 people behind you plus the 2. There's spots I can't really ever imagine folding jacks there.
Yeah, you're right.
Maybe
him being in the cutoff, and yeah, you're right. You're right. It's a flat, I think.
Fold ace queen off, maybe pocket 9s. I don't know, but
I remember watching one of the training videos at TPE, and they basically said, you make most of your money on the river, and the more opportunities you give yourself to make it to the river, the more decision points are along the way, and the more opportunities you have to take advantage of players that aren't as good as you. So if we flat here, who knows? It may get freaking checked down because we get a horrible run out for both of us or something. You just never know. But Yeah, I think you're right. I think the move is flatting.
I always overinflate my skill, but I remember thinking that I also had a pretty. I mean, I think I got ridiculously lucky to get the chip lead up to like 500,000 chips, but then I felt like at that point I pushed it up to over 700 without any hands.
Yeah.
So avoid these high variance situations, I guess. But I don't know.
Yeah.
It's jacks.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that'll be the title of the podcast. Pocket Jacks. Do you have another one?
That's all I got, Stevie.
I've got one here. I want to pick your brain on.
We can do one more.
Okay. First, I'm going to tell you about Elliot Roe. That's who I'm talking about. Copy the best players in the world, and what they do is they meditate before they play. Spend 10 minutes mentally preparing for your session. It'll give you an edge over your opponents who have not done so. And how do we prepare, you ask?
Meditate.
Meditate. Listen to a hypnosis tape of the exact type of game you're about to play. Get in the right mindset. Do it for your bankroll. He has all the MP3s, cash, tournaments, live, online. I have all of his MP3s. I've just got all of them. Ask me when you see me. I'll show them to you on your phone, on my phone. They work awesome. You just plug them in, put your headset in, listen to it for 10 minutes before you play. I won't play a hand of poker unless I listen to one first. You'll find the link in the show notes. Use the code HUPOKER, and you can try out his 7-minute tilt buster for free and see if you like it. So, Elliot Roe. All right. Okay, we're in the small blind. Early on in the tournament, blind levels are 40-80. We've got 134 big blinds. We've got over 10K, and we're in the small blind. We get an under-the-gun limp, and we have 102 hands on him. He's got 124 big blinds, so we basically have the same stack. We've just got him covered. And he's a 19-0-0. So he's limped 19% of his hands. He's never raised, never 3-bet. It folds around to us in the small blind, and we got 10-8 of diamonds. Flicking in a call, right?
Of course.
Okay, flicking a call. And the big blind, he checks behind. Flop comes out. Okay, we got 8-10 of diamonds. Flop comes out, Jack of hearts, 10 of clubs, 9 of hearts. Okay, so pot is 320. We've got over 10K in our stacks, so we flop middle pair and an open ender to the low end. What are you checking here? You donk leading? What are you doing?
Check call.
Okay.
I mean, you could check raise, I guess. Get him to fold. He's going to maybe fold some Jack X. No, I don't think he is. Yeah, no, I'm not donk leading.
Okay.
You got raised, you got to fold your equity.
Yeah.
But it's not a great flop. You don't have a draw. You have a draw to straight.
Okay. I went for the donk lead. I figured if I get raised, it's an easy fold. But yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe this is a check call. See, the thing I'm thinking here is like, if I get, I think anything that's raising me pretty much has me beat. Even like, what queens does he limp there under the gun that don't already have a pair?
Well, this villain doesn't seem like this against an aggressive sort, aggressive reg / pro. I would never be donk leading here because they're going to be raising you so often. I think, but I don't know. Okay. I don't know, Steve. That's the answer to most things I say. Yeah, I mean, check call was just my first instinct here.
Okay. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, for whatever reason, I donk lead. Into 320, I bet 166, and villain calls. The turn is the queen of clubs, so we've got 8-10 of diamonds, and the board now is queen, jack, 10-9, 2 hearts, and 2 clubs.
Quickly with your bet sizing on the flop. This is why I like donk leading, like sort of late. I don't do it a lot earlier in tournaments because people can like float you on the flop with nothing to see what you do on the turn and put pressure on you. They can raise and still fold. And yeah, I know Assassinato likes bigger donk lead size anyways.
Yeah.
60 to 70, 65, 75%, somewhere in there.
Yeah, 3/4 spot, yeah.
So here, I think, but again, against this certain opponent, he's probably going to be folding a lot of crap and not really putting pressure on you that way. So maybe betting smaller is okay. And maybe donk leading is okay too, but just because you get him to fold out some equity, he folds his aces and kings, that sort of thing. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So what were you thinking when the turn card came?
I was thinking, okay, I made my straight. If he called there with a jack or a queen, as long as it wasn't queen 8 or king queen, I got him. 2 pairs, or he's probably raising 2 pairs on the flop, but he could have 2 pair now. That maybe I should lead the turn now.
Yeah, definitely lead the turn.
Okay. Yeah.
Get some value out of his 2 pair hands.
Out of his 2 pairs, probably doesn't have any sets unless it was. Well, I mean, the guy has only limped hands out of 100. He has over 100 hands, and he's never raised one. So I don't know. Does that mean he has queens in his range?
So we discussed what we think his calling range is on the flop. Against this kind of because against this kind of villain, he probably has a pretty decent hand. He's not gonna.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think you're right. I think he's got 10s plus, a pair of 10s, a pair of jacks, a queen a lot, a flush draw. I think 2 pairs and sets he's raising. What do you think? On this board? If you got pocket 9s on 9-10 jack?
Yeah, probably.
Okay. All right. Well, we go to the turn. There's 652 in the pot. We've got 8-10 of diamonds, and now the board is queen jack 10-9. So we got the bottom end of the straight. I really like what you're saying about leading there because we get value from all his other hands. If he has a king, he's probably raising. He's at least calling.
It's just, I mean, yeah. I mean, I think you have to bet it. You made your hand, and it's also probably an easy bet fold if he raises here against this particular villain.
Yeah.
So I know you kind of have spots where you just really don't like to bet fold, but
this is one of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I end up checking
Okay.
for whatever reason, and he bets. This looks like half pot. He bets 326. Yeah, it is. He bets 326, and what do we do now? Check call.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we call. River's offsuit 5. So the final board is 9-10 jack queen 5. Flush does not come in. And do you bet this river, or do you check call, or you check fold?
Yeah, you could. I like the donk lead here. Maybe.
Okay.
Real small quarter pot.
Okay.
Blocker / value, and it's a real easy fold if he raises.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, barring all good advice from every street here, I check. He bets 978 into 1304.
I mean, this villain probably has it.
What kings does he have in his range here? He's got all the Broadway kings, right?
Yeah. He might still have ace king too, and think you just have a straight draw.
Well, ace king's the nuts.
No, but I mean on the flop, calling with ace king.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We know he's calling with all the other Broadway combinations of kings. But I just saying, what do you call with ace king? Yeah, I think if I'm playing well, I fold here against this villain, maybe.
Okay. Yeah, I should have. I called. He had king 10 offsuit, so he had us the whole way. But yeah,
Well-
I really like your lead on the check call on the flop, and then especially your lead on the turn. That's a mandatory bet right there. I don't know, I missed that. Yeah, and then it's an easy bet fold.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, the guy's opening King 10 off under the gun, so you make a note of that, and you can.
Well, he's
3-bet.
limping King 10 off under the gun.
Right, opening, yeah, whatever, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, homie, I gotta run and pick up my boy here.
Right on. All right. Well, thank you for spitting with me, Mike.
Thank you.
Yes, and
Always
if you guys
fun.
want to talk, get a hold of Mike. You'll find his links in the show notes, or go to headsuppoker.poker and click on the Circle of Trust. They'll be right there. His Twitch stream, his Twitter, at Mike Snyderman. Very entertaining. Thank you for tuning in. And here is your weekly motivational speech.
As Joseph Campbell said, we're so engaged in doing things to achieve purposes of outer value that we forget the inner value. The rapture that is associated with being alive is what it's all about. That, my friends, is the name of the game. You've got to figure out what it is that actually makes you feel alive. And if you understand that the game that you're playing is actually a game of brain chemistry and that nothing else matters, there's no objective truth, there's no one path to glory, there's no one life for you to live. There's only the subjective truth, the thing inside you, that gut instinct, that voice that whispers to you. You've got to learn to trust that. You've got to learn to trust it by building it up. You've got to learn to trust it by taking actions and gut checking yourself and asking, is that me? Is that who I want to be? Or is that somebody else, cultural voice, my parents, my lover, whatever, trying to speak through me? And as Harley Davidson said, when writing the story of your life, don't let anyone else hold the pen. So right now, ask yourself, who's writing your story? Is it you? Are you really listening to the voice in your head? Are you looking at and living by the things that give you the chills? Or are you trying to live a life that somebody else wants for you? And remember, when you think about that question, what William James said. Act as if what you do matters, because it does. Even if for nobody else, every step you take, every thought that you allow to permeate your mind, everything that you obsess about, your dreams, the things that you want, the hopes that you spend your time with, they matter to you because they tell you who you are. They tell you who you're trying to become. And ultimately, those things that you let monopolize your mind will become you. So if somebody else is holding the pen, if somebody else is forcing you to write something that doesn't make you feel alive, that is a life lost. And that is how you die, my friends, before you ever had a chance to live.